conduct a legislative caucus prior to calling our legislative session to order. Mr. Truesdale will call the roll. The invocation this evening will be led by Councilwoman Rawls, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Vice President Jones. For communications this evening, we are joined for a presentation on the Theater Harrisburg's 100th anniversary. Lorianne Reese Mahay, Executive Director, will share the presentation. Then we will move to courtesy of the floor, followed by the approval of the minutes for the legislative session that occurred on January 13th, 2026. We will then move to reports of committees. The first report delivered this evening will be delivered by our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, Vice President Jones, on the work session of January 20th, 2026. The next report will be delivered by our Community and Economic Development Committee Chair, Councilman Lawson, on the work session of January 20th, 2026. The next report will be delivered by our Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment Committee Chair, Councilwoman Rawls, on the work session of January 20th, 2026. The final committee report will be delivered by our Public Safety Committee Chair, Councilwoman Green, on the work session of January 20th, 2026. There are no ordinances for first reading, no ordinances for amendment, or no ordinances for final passage. We will move to resolutions. The first resolution for consideration is Resolution 1 of 2026, which we will vote upon. Resolution 2 of 2026, which we will vote upon. Resolution 3 of 2026, there is a request to table Resolution 3 of 2026. Resolution 4 of 2026 will be voted upon. Resolution 5 of 2026 will be voted upon. Resolution 6 of 2026 will move to the Public Works Committee. Resolution 7 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Resolution 8 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. And Resolution 9 of 2026 will move to the Public Works Committee. Is there any old business for discussion, council members? Any new business? Okay, seeing and hearing none, then we will adjourn. The time is 5:39 p.m. I would like to call our legislative session to order. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Davis, Ms. Green,
Present.
Mr. Jones,
Here.
Mr. Lawson,
Here.
Ms. Rawls,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Hill.
Present. Thank you. The invocation this evening will be led by Councilwoman Rawls.
Thank you. I would like to, for everyone to take a moment of silence for anybody who is going through any hardships currently, for anybody who is experiencing someone missing in their family. But most importantly, I would like to take a moment of silence for the current state of our country and just thinking about how we all work together to get it to a better place. Can we all please take a moment of silence for all of those reasons? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rawls. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vice President Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Jones. For communications this evening, please, we have a presentation on the Theater Harrisburg's 100th anniversary.
Hello. Sorry. Take
Thank
a moment.
you.
Hi. So for those who don't know me, my name is Lorianne Mahay. I'm the Executive Director for Theater Harrisburg. And I wanted to thank you for inviting me to present today. The theater was founded in 1926. We are in the midst of our 100th anniversary season, and coming up into our 100th anniversary year. We were founded as Harrisburg Community Theater, or HCT, as the community still lovingly refers to us a lot of times. We spent the first part of our time as a theater going to all these different spaces around Harrisburg, most of which don't exist anymore, until eventually in 1952 we settled at Hurlock and 6th Street, which is where we now know it as the Jay and Nancy Krevsky Production Center. And so I included a couple quick shots, but on average every year we produce between 5 to 6 main stage shows, as well as educational programming, and we are split between our Hurlock space and Whitaker Center. We usually go to Whitaker about once or twice a year, so you'll see us both uptown and downtown, depending on the time. For this special season, we actually decided to go with a whole season of musicals. We have already produced A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder and Guys and Dolls, which was downtown in November. We're going to be opening up the last 5 years this Friday. And then Godspell and I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, which felt like a very apt title for a 100-year-old organization. And in addition to our main stage season, we've also really been leaning into a lot of community partnerships. So our first play was produced, we did a reading of The Dover Road, which was our first show, and we did it at the McCormick Public Library because that was the space that our theater was dreamt into being when a group of women from the community came together and said, I wonder what it would be like if Harrisburg had a theater. And so this group of women came together and they created this place. It was entirely volunteer run, and we still have thousands of volunteers that help us to make everything possible, even though we have a professional staff as well. We are going to be doing a collaboration with the Harrisburg Symphony Orchestra. We'll be doing a show May 30th and May 31st. It's Follies in Concert, which is one of Sondheim's best-known pieces, and that is going to be at the Forum Theater on May 30th and May 31st. And then following that, we'll be doing our 100th anniversary gala at the Ashcombe Mansion, the Willows at Ashcombe Mansion. In addition, we are going to be doing the 4th year of the Penguin Project. And if anyone doesn't know about this, it's a really wonderful program. It's a nationwide program. We're the Harrisburg chapter. It's intended for children with disabilities. So all of the kids between age 10 to 21 are partnered with children without disabilities, and they will work together for 4 months, and they will rehearse and put together a musical that happens for 1 weekend at the Whitaker Center in August. The program is entirely free to the community. We serve over 40 children, and it's a really, really special program. So it's one of the big pieces for us that's become a very important part of what we do and who we are in the community. Following that, we are actually going to be doing our first teen show in relation to that, where we're going to be also having the mentors, the kids who work with what we call our penguins. They'll be doing the first teen show. They're doing Legally Blonde Junior the weekend after. So I hope you have a chance to come out and support it. It's a really heartfelt, wonderful project to be part of. That is a very, very quick summary of some of the things we'll be doing. We launch season 101 still in our 100th year in September, so we'll be announcing some additional community programming and things of that nature, but at least this is kind of an idea of some of the things we have coming up around the community. I wanted to see if you had any questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any questions? Councilman Lawson?
Not really a question, but just a statement. Just remembering back to being a socially awkward kid in his preteen to teen years and being part of your acting class that was being held with, I guess at that point, Harrisburg Community Theater, and just how much bringing theater into the lives of children affects their well-being, and it's been passed down to my children where they're now invested in theater. So I want to thank you for letting me be a part of that 100-year journey.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I do have a proclamation. If you wouldn't mind, please indulge me for a few minutes. The City of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Office of City Council and Office of City Clerk. Proclamation. Whereas the City of Harrisburg applauds Theater Harrisburg for their dedicated commitment to sharing live theater and the arts with the greater Harrisburg area for 100 years. And whereas Theater Harrisburg originated as the Harrisburg Community Theater founded by Mrs. Robert Peters, president of the Women's University Club, she asked 9 other women to join her in exploring the idea of local volunteer-based theater that would produce quality plays. And whereas Adele Eichler served as the first director of the Harrisburg Community Theater. The first play of the Harrisburg Community Theater was The Dover Road, as you mentioned, produced in 1926 at the Old Majestic Theater located in downtown Harrisburg. And whereas productions of the Harrisburg Community Theater during the 1920s through the early 1930s were held at the Majestic, but other performances were held at the old City Hall building on Walnut Street and the former William Penn High School. For 17 years, the Harrisburg Community Theater rented the Jewish Community Center, then located at 1110 North 3rd Street. And whereas in 1950, ground was broken for the theater's permanent and current home located at 6th and Hurlock Streets in Uptown Harrisburg. For the next 48 years, the Harrisburg Community Theater called the building its performance home, featuring performance space, dressing rooms, set construction shop, and offices. And whereas in 1997, Harrisburg Community Theater became the first local performing arts organization to make a formal commitment as a resident company at Whitaker Center for Science and the Arts. In addition, during the summer of 1999, the Harrisburg Community Theater became officially known as Theater Harrisburg. And whereas in 2005, the Hurlock Street building was renamed the J. and Nancy Krevsky Production Center. It remains the location for Theater Harrisburg administrative offices, rehearsals, set construction, prop storage, costume creation, and other storage. And now, therefore, be it hereby proclaimed that Harrisburg City Council commends Theater Harrisburg for their vision and commitment to community volunteers who assist in presenting the high-quality theatrical experiences that local audiences expect and have grown to love. And be it further proclaimed that Harrisburg City Council wishes to extend best wishes for a successful 100th anniversary season. Signed and attested in the city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Danielle L. Hill, Harrisburg City Council, Jared Truesdale, City Clerk. You mind taking a picture? Thank you.
Go ahead, you go first.
Okay, ready?
You guys can practice this one.
1, 2, 3, and again. Thank you.
All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, great picture.
Thank you. Next, we have courtesy of the floor. We have a full house tonight, so just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. If you'd like to offer any public comments, please come to the microphone that the city clerk just readjusted there and state your name and your address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Truesdale will serve as our timekeeper, and he has added a timer to the screen for your reference. Okay, So we'll begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening to the Harrisburg City Council. Thank you as always for your service. My name is Wendy Shaver and I'm one of the co-directors of Power to the Hill. We operate out of the Allison Hill neighborhood at Christ Lutheran Church on South 13th Street. I'm here tonight to continue to explain about our community action project. We spent our second community action project. Our team of volunteers, there are about 10 of us here tonight, spent all of last year having conversations with neighbors in the Allison Hill neighborhood, and the neighborhood spoke loud and clear that their main priority that they would like us to help with organizing was to increase youth programming in the Allison Hill section of the city. So in addition to the voice of the neighborhood, I brought some demographics this evening that speak loud and clear to the need for this. I got these from Tri-County Community Action. They use Policy Map and interface that with the census data. In the state of Pennsylvania as a whole, the percent of the population under age 18 is 21%, and in the Allison Hill neighborhood, it is 34%. In the state of Pennsylvania, the percent of families that are single parent families is 13%. In the Allison Hill neighborhood, it is 42%. And the poverty rate in Allison Hill is about 40%, which is triple the national average. So you can see the great need for the city to help in providing youth programming for families in the Allison Hill neighborhood. What we are asking from the City Council, we have already had great support directly from Councilman Jones and Councilwoman Rawls, which we greatly appreciate, in addition to the overall support of the City Council. We had an email introduction from Ms. Rawls to Kevin Saunders, who is in charge of the programming, and we are waiting to hear back from him to schedule a meeting. So any support we could get in connecting us further to him to get a meeting set up in making some action steps towards youth programming in the Allison Hill area. And when the ice melts, we as an organization are going to be canvassing the 4 playgrounds in addition to Reservoir Park that are in the Allison Hill neighborhood to see if the swings, the basketball hoops, if there are benches that need to be replaced. And we are going to be coming to the City Council with a report of those and asking for your financial support and physical support in getting those parks in great condition so that the youth of Allison Hill can enjoy those. So thank you again for your time, and we will be back with further information and further asks. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my right that would like to offer public comment?
Yes, good evening, Council. Pam Parson, 18th and Holly. I was last before you, I believe, in September. Mr. Truesdale can verify, but it was when we were talking about boards and commissions and the people who serve on them, and I would like to give you a little update on that from my perspective. My committee, the Environmental Action Committee, has not met. So here we are in the new year of 2026, and we as a committee have not met. I also would like to share with you my most recent experience with the Redevelopment Authority. Just after the new year, a friend of mine asked me about how do I bid on a property, how do I find out what properties are available, and how do I bid on a lot? So I said, well, look on their website, remembering that you had asked as a council to update their website. She called me back and she said, well, I can't find the process and it looks old. So I said, well, I'll look. So I went and looked at their website. It is 3 years old. The list of properties are 3 years old. There is nothing on the website that tells an individual how they can bid on a property. There's a process, but it's for developers and people who want to buy large blocks. And I remember the line of questioning that evening from Ms. Rawls and particularly from you, Ms. Green, about wanting to see the properties and wanting to be able to make them available to individuals. The day I looked, they were meeting the next day. And of course, their meetings are at lunchtime, and I happened to have a conflict. I was actually going to go to their meeting and pose this question. But I wanted to give you that feedback, both on my own committee and what I found recently when I looked at the Redevelopment Authority. Thank you.
If you want to.
Just wanted to make a comment for Ms. Parson. She's 100% accurate with the EAC board. Just so the public's aware, council has made all of the proper appointments on our end. We're just waiting for the administration to get the sustainability coordinator to meet, but you guys do have a quorum, and anytime they get it together, you could start meeting right away. Thank you for those. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you both. Is there anyone else who would like to offer public comment to my right? Okay, seeing and hearing no one. Anyone in the middle section?
Good evening, Counselor. My name is Yolanda Blandy, and I live at the 1900 block of Brookwood Street. A couple months back, my daughter works here at the city of Harrisburg. Tisha Barber, she assaulted my daughter verbally, humiliated her, disrespected her, followed her to her car. It's caught on tape. It's supposed to have been an investigation been going on for the last 4 months. They keep telling my daughter they investigate and they investigate. This has been going on for 5 or 6 months. Nothing has been done. Nobody's saying nothing. I feel as though it's being swept under the rug. I need to know, to have some answers. I need to know. All my daughter wanted was a public apology from her for what she did to her in this building. It wasn't outside the building. It was in this building. And the captain said he's running an investigation, whereas though we don't have answers yet. So I would like for y'all to investigate and find something out for me, please.
Thank you. Do you mind staying after the meeting to communicate with our Public Safety Committee Chair?
I have her card and her information.
Okay, okay.
Speak before the meeting. I'll follow up on it, and if you can't stay, we can chat afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
Sorry for reading. It'll be to keep me to time. Good evening, Council. I'm Brian Kiesling from Midtown, and I am here tonight with a very large group of people rallying outside to address the ICE crisis. The community gathered outside this building is frustrated. Some are scared. Many are ready to defend their neighbors, but everybody is angry. We are angry because we all see the way ICE storms around like a pack of slave catchers and Nazi Gestapo, and we are furious because 2 weeks ago, Commissioner Carter sat right here in this room and told the people of Harrisburg that we should just cooperate and comply with ICE. Everybody knows what that means. Every time the cops kill someone in this country, all the apologists come out to talk about how the victims should just comply and take the abuse every time. It would have been more honest for Commissioner Carter to say that ICE terrorizing and kidnapping people is not a serious concern of his. We all watched him laugh at the start of his comment, and we all felt him dismiss the gravity of the situation. Now, 6 years ago, when George Floyd was murdered by a cop, hundreds of us came out into the streets to protest with the same kind of righteous anger we feel now. And Commissioner Carter greeted us then with riot gear and pepper spray. They brutalized people that evening, and I will never forget that night when I turned on the local news and saw Commissioner Carter say he was happy to report that there was no property damage, because that is what he cared about protecting. I bring that up because we are seeing a pattern. It is a pattern of a blatant disregard for the safety and well-being of the community. It is a pattern that also includes the lack of justice for those killed by Harrisburg police, and now the pattern includes collaboration with ICE terror. I could have spoken tonight about how if people are scared to leave their homes, it'll hurt businesses and the city's economy, and that is true. But more than that, we are talking about basic safety and the responsibility of the city to protect its residents, whoever they are, from any threat, even if that threat comes from the government. It may take some courage, but it's the right thing to do. 2 weeks ago, a commenter talked about us losing federal funding. But if the federal government says keeping our people safe means no funding, then that isn't funding, it's extortion. The government is using funding as a weapon and is already cutting it off all over the place. I know people don't want to think in this way, but that's the reality we're facing, so we need to be pragmatic and plan for the fact that ultimately we're likely to lose that funding anyway for whatever reason they decide, at whatever time they decide. So we need to plan for that and not let it stop us from doing the right thing about ICE. And the community will work with city officials if those officials work to protect the people. I know there is legislation in the works, and we appreciate that there's legislation in the works. On behalf of much of the community, I come here with a call to action on a few of the things that we need from the city. We need the city of Harrisburg to formally and permanently cut all ties with immigration enforcement, including any mandated reporting of any individuals. We do not care if the federal government says the police are required to report people. Reporting anyone is unacceptable. Next, we need the city to pass legislation that will actively protect residents from ICE raids, detention, harassment, and terror. It is not enough for Harrisburg police to stand by and let ICE operate unimpeded. We need the city to proactively keep people safe, even when that means actively going against ICE. And finally, we need the city to cease all projects designed to increase surveillance, projects which give more power to Harrisburg police to monitor, control, or otherwise restrict the freedoms of city residents. This city often treats people like they're the problem, rather than people who are hurt by the problem. These actions will take courage. It will require all of us to have moral clarity and a backbone, but if our elected officials show us that backbone, the people will stand behind you and support you. Otherwise, we are truly on our own to defend ourselves and our neighbors, which we will do either way, but it is simply a question of whether the city will stand with the people and make that job easier for us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
Hello, my name is Akira Luisa. I run Students Against ICE. I live on Fishing Creek Valley Road and I go to school downtown. I know students aren't taken seriously. When I speak up, I've been told I need to pay more attention in school because of my views, which is ironic because any look at history would prove what we're doing is right. And I've been told that my school is indoctrinating me, which is funny because all my teachers are terrified to say anything slightly political or religious or just about anything you'd see on the news, out of fear. But that just means we as students have to get louder. We must educate each other. We must compromise and reach an understanding with each other. We need to nurture our community and save it from the reign of ICE. Adults need to trust the youth, and the youth needs to band together. Especially because I run Students Against ICE, I've seen and heard from students at my own school downtown and other schools around PA that they are terrified of ICE agents raiding near and on our schools. People have missed school out of fear and anger. And last year at my own school, we had a student with a legal visa that was joining our school who had to leave because she was so terrified that ICE was going to come and get her even though she was legally here for education. It's not unfair. It's not only unfair, but it's nauseating seeing and hearing how the government and ICE are treating our citizens. They are stopping us from going to school and running our businesses, and it's on purpose. Minneapolis schools are shut down right now. Less than an hour away, they are setting up an ICE concentration camp. We cannot let them take our students. We cannot let them take our parents. We cannot let them take our community members, our fellow human beings. We need to work hard because imagine if we were in their shoes. And soon we aren't going to have to imagine. Because if we don't have to spend time stopping them, they will start torturing us. All of us as protesters are at risk, but us as people of color, as journalists, students, and people old and young, ICE is targeting us. You guys are debating right now if they should cut ties with ICE. And from the students, we say it's a must, it's a need. Thank you, Student Council, for supporting this legislation, and keep supporting our students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, counselors. Thank you for hearing us tonight. Kia Fowler from North 5th Street. So I actually sat here during our last work session on January 20th, and I was here to listen to Police Commissioner Thomas Carter stated that the police only assist ICE as per legal requirements. Commissioner Carter suggested residents have nothing to fear if they follow the law and comply with ICE. Commissioner Carter stated that they are willing to protect their brother law enforcement officers in case of unrest. I disagree with Commissioner Carter's willingness to cooperate with ICE for the following reasons. Number one, ICE is untrained. ICE used to get 5 months of academy training. That included 5 weeks of Spanish language and 16 weeks of law enforcement training. Now they're only getting 6 weeks of total academy training. That's about 48 days. This has been confirmed by DHS officials. Number two, they have a policy of violating constitutional protections. A report released in 2013 shows patterns of DHS agents intentionally stepping into the path of a vehicle in order to create the use of justified force. The result of this report was new rules prohibiting agents from doing this very action and prohibiting agents from killing the drivers of a vehicle attempting to flee the scene. Rules instructed agents to avoid shooting and killing drivers of a vehicle due to the potential injury or death of bystanders. As we saw with Renee Good, agents are still enacting prohibited actions despite having received training on department policy. Additionally, a DHS internal memo dated May 2025 tells agents they can enter homes without a judicial warrant in order to conduct agency business. As we all know, this is a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. Individuals who are impacted by unlawful ICE action since the last council meeting include, but are not limited to, 3 of the following. As we all know, Alex Preddy was a 37-year-old U.S. citizen and legal observer. He was an ICU nurse at the Veterans Administration. While he was holding his cell phone, he attempted to assist a woman being pepper sprayed and was, as a result, slammed to the ground. When he was slammed to the ground, he was disarmed of the firearm that he was permitted to conceal carry. After being disarmed, he was shot 10 times by 2 ICE agents and was killed. Then we have Liam Ramos. He is a 5-year-old asylum applicant. He was held as bait by ICE agents in an attempt to lure his parents outside of the home so they could detain and deport his parents. Please note, his parents have no criminal record and are also asylum applicants. His mother was unable to go outside to rescue her child because she was currently pregnant. Our third and final example is Jonathan Garcia. He's a 17-year-old U.S. citizen. At the time, he was a Target employee and he was on shift at Target. When ICE detained him, he identified himself as a U.S. citizen. He was not permitted to show his proof of citizenship, nor was he permitted to walk away. He was slammed to the ground. 10 minutes later, a videotape shows him walking away from Walmart where he'd been dumped bleeding from the wounds sustained during detention by ICE. Here's some concrete steps that I asked council take. 1, pass a non-cooperation agreement. Harrisburg City Council should state that it will not voluntarily assist federal civil immigration enforcement and that city staff will not share information unless legally required. This ensures local government focuses on local responsibilities, not federal enforcement. 2, apply pressure to mayor and police commissioner to ban 287G agreements. City police should be used to prioritize protecting residents against violation of constitutional rights by federal agents, not assisting federal agents in their attempts to do just that. Commissioner Carter stated on January 20th, during the working session that, quote, "We won't let ICE beat you. Create legislation, please, to enforce this statement." 3, follow in the footsteps of LA County and ban the use of facial coverings. I'm going to skip a little bit because I'm running out of time. 3, prohibit use of city resources in immigration enforcement. 4, prohibit DHS from using administrative warrants. 5, prohibit prohibit use of city resources, buildings, staff time, tax dollars, etc. 7, prohibit DHS from entering any location, public or private, without a signed judicial warrant. 8, adopt strong data privacy policies in terms of sharing. 9, require transparency and notice. Publicly disclose any requests from ICE. 10, fund or support Know Your Rights education. 11, protect city services from being used as traps. And 12, communicate clearly with us. Issue public statements explaining what the city will and will not do. Sorry I went over time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
My name is Julia Tilley, Old Uptown. I've been a resident here in Harrisburg City for over 30 years. I'm a social worker and a community activist. I am here to support the work that council has been doing to protect our rights as residents against the illegal activities of civil immigration enforcement agents in our communities. I wholeheartedly support the bill that council has drafted, but those policies are only good if they are enforced. If this bill is passed, I want assurance that the mayor, our police chief, and our district attorney will support the provisions proposed in this bill. And I would like a commitment from our law enforcement that they will investigate and detain any civil immigrant enforcement agents that violate the laws. In Dauphin County, there is only one entity that can bring charges, and that is the district attorney, which is an elected position, may I remind everybody. I am calling on District Attorney Shardo to go on record that he will protect us and prosecute any federal agent or official that exceeds their lawful authority. I'd also like to ask District Attorney Shardo to join the Federal Overreach Organization, which is a group of district attorneys that are committed to holding federal agents accountable for such things as warrantless entry, unlawful detentions, and coercive enforcement tactics. Harrisburg residents are afraid. They're afraid to leave their homes. They're afraid they're going to be disappeared. They're afraid to go to the doctors, afraid to go to school, afraid to go to work, and afraid to exercise their civil rights. My disabled daughter, who is an adult, has a panic attack whenever I leave the house to protest, to exercise my freedom of speech. She's terrified that I will be executed for speaking truth to power. We do not want Minneapolis here. We do not want a city under siege, and we do not want our brothers and sisters detained and kidnapped at random, or worse, shot and killed in the streets. We want peace in our city, accountability, and the freedom to move about without fear, and anything short of that, we, the citizens and residents, will not accept.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
Sorry. Hi there, Council. Thank you. Good evening. Carrie Fowler. I live in Midtown Harrisburg. I'm here tonight because I believe deeply in the values of the city, and because those values are ruined when professionalism and basic decency are treated as optional. At its core, local government is about service. It's about respect. It's about remembering that every question a resident asks comes from someone who lives here, pays taxes here, raises families here, and cares enough to engage. Residents asking questions, whether online or in person, are not being disruptive. They are participating in democracy. When city staff respond to those questions with sarcasm, hostility, or bullying, it sends a dangerous message that power matters more than people. That engagement will be met with ridicule and instead of respect. That is not the kind of city Harrisburg should be. I want to be clear about why I'm speaking up. This is not the first time I have witnessed these individuals respond this way to residents. I have seen this pattern before time and time again. I am choosing to speak now because when this behavior goes unaddressed, it becomes normalized, and normalization erodes trust. The behavior I'm referencing came from a community service aide whose role is to work directly with residents, and the communications director for the city of Harrisburg. These are positions rooted in public trust. When people in these roles engage residents online with disrespect, it carries weight whether the comments are made from an official account or a personal account. That matters because city policy is clear that employees' personal use of social media does not excuse unprofessional conduct, especially when individuals are publicly identifiable as city staff or when their comments relate to city business. Personal accounts do not erase professional responsibility. The line between personal and official disappears when power, authority, and public trust are involved. I have printed screenshots of the remarks and the city's own social media policy for each one of you to read for yourselves and decide if you think it's okay to talk to our residents, our taxpayers in the city in that manner. I tried my best to keep them in order of the dialogue as it was occurring. This is not about opinions or tone policing. It is about whether we are honoring the standards and values the city has set for itself, and whether we expect those standards to apply consistently. Using social media to bully residents is not transparency, and it is not leadership. If someone cannot respond to residents with professionalism and respect on any platform, then the most responsible choice is to not comment at all. We are living in a moment where cruelty has been normalized and disrespect is often excused as being tough. But local government should be a counterexample. It should model decency, accountability, and restraint, especially when conversations are difficult. The way city staff speak to residents matters. It determines whether people feel welcome to participate or pushed away from politics in our city. It shapes whether civic engagements feel safe or risky. I am asking this administration and this council to lead with values. Make it clear that professionalism applies online and offline, on accounts and personal accounts. Make it clear that bullying residents is unacceptable, and make it clear that respect is not something residents have to earn. It is something they are owed. Harrisburg can do better. We can choose dignity over defensiveness, service over ego, and community over conflict. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
Hello. I had no intention on getting up here to speak, but after hearing them two ladies speak, I feel like I have to. Now, I mean, we got a beautiful city council sitting here. Everybody's dapper and looking pretty good and all that. But you're not worried about somebody going in your home and taking your kids out. Or you're not worried about going out to your car and being picked up and snatched. We have to do something about this in Harrisburg. We can't do something about Minneapolis. But we have to do something about it here before it gets here. Mm-hmm. Let's not wait for them to get here and say, oh, well, you know that's not right. Well, we know it's not right already. Yep, right. So, like these people are saying, let's get something together. There's a lot of cities that are saying, we're not going to have it. Mm-hmm. We can be one of those cities. Right. Let's not have it. Just simple as that. I mean, you know, we got the big orange guy that we got to fight, but everybody else is fighting him. We can't join up with him because when he falls, we don't want to fall with him. And, you know, I've known the commissioner for a lot of years, and it shocked me to hear that when he said that. It doesn't sink, you know. But everybody's an elected official except maybe him. But everybody who is elected needs to come on board with this. Because the election, if you're not on board, you might not be here. Okay.
Can you please state your name?
James Brown.
And
very famous name.
And your address or the vicinity in which you live, just for the meeting record.
I live in the 1900 block of Lenox.
Thank
right
you.
off of Paxton.
And
I'm a contractor, certified minority contractor. And something else I wanted to mention is that I understand that you're faced with an opportunity to do great things for the minority contractors, which do things for the city and all the other people in the city, all the kids, the groceries, all of these things. Anytime this thing comes up before you, please back the ideas that are coming out. I've heard some of them, and they're really good. They're going to do great things for the contractors here and for the people. Not just the contractors, but, you know, the minorities, our kids, our grandkids. it's going to do a lot of things. You know, it's been a lot of years since we had close to even playing field. And I'm 71 years old, and I don't remember us ever having one. So, you know, let's try to do something better in that, you know, in that form too, against the ice and for our city and our contractors. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section?
Good evening. My name is Tracy Tautone, and I'm from the Allison Hill District in Harrisburg. And I, like him, I had no intention on speaking, but I feel like I have to. So when I come before you here this evening, I'm coming as a certified minority female contractor, okay? I have renovated many homes in the Harrisburg area, put heart, sweat, and tears in it, sold them, redeveloped the communities. Mr. Jones can tell you, when I come in the neighborhood, everybody's values going up on their house, okay? Because that's what happens. So if you take one person that can bring the skills necessary to redevelop our neighborhoods, it gives the people that live in the neighborhoods the pride, and they start to take that back, and then you'll see another person out there painting and another person out there doing that. And it also makes the children look up to people that look like them. So with all of that being said, and going through all the different roads and avenues that I had to take to become certified, now that I am certified, I still want to redevelop land in the city of Harrisburg, along with other contractors that are minorities, okay? Whether it be a female, black, brown, gray, whatever, okay? But that opportunity for me is limited here. So I guess I'm coming before City Council to say, we need your help. There are gatekeepers, and I'm gonna put it out there. There are gatekeepers who have the land that needs to be developed. You go before them. I'm also a real estate agent. You go before them, so I know the transaction of buying, selling homes, land, or whatever. But when you go before them, our prices go up, out of control. Or you're in a bidding war with somebody that doesn't exist. Then you see that somebody, another developer from somewhere else, has purchased this land. And then it leaves us that live here, because my company is city, okay? I grew up in the city. I'm a product of the city. I went to Harrisburg school districts. I mean, that's what I do. I want to see the community that I grew up in thrive. I want our kids to be able to look at things and have nice things. Just because you live in the city or because you may not have what this other person have, it don't mean you can't have nice things. And it don't mean that you got to settle for less. So if we don't raise the bar, and we don't have, or we try to raise the bar, I should say, because I can't speak for everybody else, but I can speak for myself. I've tried, and I have raised the bar for my city neighbors, the children, and all. But if we don't have city council's help to help us get through some of the barriers and the gatekeepers there, then it hinders us, and it hinders our business from growing. You got, I'm gonna say this real quick, I had 27 seconds. The the farmer's market, you have certified contractors that are bidding on these jobs. You have the prime contractors who will send you out and invite to bid. They send it to you, and then you never hear from them no more. And then they come back and they tell you, oh, well, we did send the invitations to bid, but they didn't respond. That is not true. Okay, so again, I'm asking for your help. I'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'm going to ask for it again, and I'm going to keep asking for it until we get it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment? Okay, seeing and hearing no one. Anyone to my left?
Hello, I'm Toby. I live in Midtown. I'm just coming up here to say that I have no idea why Harrisburg is not continuing to do anything about the snow removal. I haven't seen anything happening or heard anything. There is so many dangerous areas, mostly by intersections that are still, the walkways are still covered with snow. And I think it's just a very, very big public health issue that needs to be taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my left that would like to offer public comment?
City Council, y'all have seen me before, but I will repeat my name. My name is Robert C. Weldon. I was here in front of you a few weeks ago on the council meeting in January, the first one. I recently have had city codes come into my apartment and do the inspection. If I may. Inspector Badge, I will not give anything to his name or anything, but I will say, denote owners to which compliance letters will be sent pursuant to ordinance, I can't pronounce how this is, it's a numerical 1-2017. All residential properties units require an annual residential rental unit registration and are to be inspected for code compliance one time every 60 months. To register your property in a time prescribed could result in your property being placarded as unfit for human habitation in addition to other legal remedies. This property has an overdue rental registration payment. If you have any other properties in the city that are overdue for rental registration, use the forms provided for vote, this, that, and the other. However, he goes on to state, there is asbestos wrap on the pipes in the basement and must be wrapped or removed. Now, I just went down in there and I have posted a video, and I will say that video. You can go to YouTube at Robert Weldon 2704. Behind the heating unit that is to my unit, there is a pipe section where they have a piece of metal with Brad wrap, and on that is just like sitting there like it's a tray. It's just laying there. Asbestos fell away from the pipe. Now you go and look right where my electrical panel is, and I know I had deer in the headlights on the first video, but I went back down there on the 22nd, Thursday of last January, and then I turned and froze because right there above my electrical panel is open, exposed asbestos. The very place that I have to flip the breaker. And it's only covered with the same foil you put into an oven. And it's all over the place. Now, my worry is this. I have nowhere to go. I'm facing a very financial deficit situation. I'm trapped. I'm literally trapped. Now, I don't know what to do. I have no resources, no financial assistance I have tried to find. I don't know what to do. If they deem this uninhabitable because of non-response, I'm out of the apartment. That's not fair to me. Not fair from a rental agency that's city limits. And they've also sold my property to someone else. So therefore, it's criminal now. It's fraud because when they sold it, they went through the Midtown properties. I spoke with the real estate agent. And I told her, she said, asbestos? I said, can you send me a copy of the disclosure? Do you know what I have now? I can't even call her number now. She's disconnected it. So therefore, she's knowingly committing fraud upon the sale. Now, this is a criminal act. I'm asking for something to be done. It's got to be done. A lot of this nonsense with these deadbeat landlord situations, it's got to be done. It's got to be dealt with.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Can you please state your address? I know you stated your name, but just for the meeting record or the vicinity in which you live.
I live in 1210 Market Street, first floor, Harrisburg, PA, 17103.
Thank you.
I just had a question. I know we don't normally answer questions right now or go back and forth of a conversation, but I do feel like that's an important issue. So I was just wondering, as a legal matter, I know usually landlord-tenant issues are dealt at the MDJ's office, the one that's nearest to, and I can't think off the top of my head what judge that would be. Salone, in your area, I know they directly deal with that, but I don't know from a standpoint of the city with codes giving him a letter, is there anyone particularly that he could talk to at least get something started with the city? Because it feels like a two-part conversation.
I'll try to speak loudly.
Oh, gosh.
So codes is the right people to talk on the asbestos issue. They can cite the property owner and demand remediation. The problem at times, but not most of the time, is when code does that, the landowner has due process rights to challenge anything they file in the local court, and it just takes time to do that. They could also talk to Fair Housing Council and the Central Penn Legal Services about withholding rents and the proper way to do that in order to force them to the table. If you do it properly, they cannot evict you legally. And you have rights for abatement when it is unlivable. So, but again, that's a private issue, but Central Penn Legal Penn Services provides free legal counsel, and the advice on housing from Fair Housing Council can provide free legal counsel on options for someone even not just a homeowner, but in a rental situation.
Okay. I would definitely call Central Penn Legal. If you haven't already, I do know when you call them.
It's called
Mid-Penn. I'm sorry.
Pen.
I would.
Do you mind waiting until after our meeting is over to
No.
communicate further? Okay,
I will say
thank
this,
you.
though. I've tried contacting Mid-Penn Legal Services before and on other issues, and it's just like I'm on the phone and calling them and speaking to them, and I get nothing. To me, that's a dead end, street.
Help too after I've used them before, so I'll try to help you where I can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my left that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, Council. My name is Melanie Cook. I live in the 3000 block of North 3rd Street in the city of Harrisburg. I, too, was here a couple of weeks ago and sat through the work session. One of the things I want to comment on initially is to speak on behalf of a project that is here for final approval. The Pinmark Harrisburg Holding Project at Polyclinic Hospital. For those of you who are not familiar, should make yourselves available to review and come to their public meetings. I have worked in the building and develop industry in my lifetime, 10, 15 years. I've dealt with a lot of developers and attended a lot of public meetings there and also DEP. This group is very professional and open to public comment and has done what I believe is a stellar job. They are attempting to save a historic property in the city of Harrisburg that has sat empty in what in any other city would have been developed years ago. This is a jewel that should be developed, and these types of developers should be encouraged. You heard people say that they are incorporating business and minority builders and women. They need to be the model that the city uses. Last 2 weeks ago, I commended council because I have been here for multiple meetings where council has asked developer after developer after developer, can you, will you, can you? Sending letters claiming we've made an attempt is not getting the ball moved forward. You have to figure out how to reward those people who are actually getting the job done and using minority and other youth spreading programs to help develop a base of operation that is effective in this city. I also want to commend this city council. It took a lot of fortitude for Vice President Jones and for the rest of you to stand up and say, we are going to challenge, if we have to do it in court, an action we believe is not in the best interest of the citizens of this state and of this city. We cannot have government by appoint whoever we want. If there is a process that needs to be followed, it has to be followed. And you, as our elected officials, have to take the hard knocks from the governor, even if you have to, because we deserve the same degree of oversight that would be expected in every other community in this Commonwealth. And if you are fighting for our behalf, even if it's viewed by other people as being a backyard brawl, let them. We know what the truth is. I have heard people say that the governor called into, and I'm quoting, a gubernatorial woodshed members of our leadership. That is not the case, and that needs to be corrected. And people need to understand, this city is prepared to work with Governor Shapiro, but we're also prepared and demanding that you stand up to ensure that we are represented adequately and above adequately. And again, I always manage to run out of time, but I do want to speak to the youth programming. That is needed throughout this city. I was at a meeting last night in Riverside, as I'm going to say, Commissioner, Ms. Rawls recognizes. We have been trying to advocate for a playground in the Italian Lake area. There are 0 playgrounds above Division Street. It is absolutely deplorable. Rude city employees. Today I called and had someone, parking authority, badge number 921, yell at me from her car about someone whose vehicle was sitting and has been sitting for 2 weeks parked across the sidewalk. It is not, we deserve the same consideration. I'm going to say it again and again and again. And as far as ICE, I was here 2 weeks ago and I responded and said, I have a law enforcement background and I am quite willing to adhere to the law. But I don't live in pre-Nelson Mandela, South Africa, and you are not going to compel me or anybody around me to walk around with identification.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else to my left that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, Council. Libby Prophet, 2000 block of Chestnut Street. I want to warn you, because you may not have seen it. A strategy that's been used over time, last 50 years at least, targeting your melanated self, thinking that people can come up here and use Joyce Freud, the late Mandela's, and all these things that happen to make you not look at America today and where we are and where we're going. There's veterans that's homeless. I don't see nobody out there rallying, protesting, or housing them. But here we are having hours of debate on illegals, people that came into your country illegally, living in Maine for 2 years, no rent, no utilities. These people are not paying nothing. And you can't even get medical. You can't get health care. You can't get child care. But illegals are taking your benefits, right? Oh, you don't have to listen. But I listen to you because I'm conscious enough too. I'm educated enough too. I don't have to join the masses. There's people that don't even like this flag, but wants all the benefits that goes under this flag. That flag didn't exist when, what's her name? Pocahontas was sleeping with the white man. That flag didn't exist then. But here we are, degrading that flag and everything it stands for and all the benefits that comes with being in America, defending people that jump the borders illegally. And there's veterans homeless in the cold. This is America. Excuse me? Now, when you spoke, I sat and I listened.
Excuse me.
The same way as I served for you to come here.
Excuse me, hold on. Please don't interrupt other people when they're speaking. Thank you. Please continue.
ICE was invited to Harrisburg. ICE has documented intelligence of what was going on. All of those constructions that was not being given to locals, ICE has documented intelligence. They're not just here. And if you have evidence to give counsel, give name, dates, give evidence. Don't come with Minnesota. Because Minnesota, they're waving the Somalian flags. They're not waving the American flags. Stop using people's melanated skin to come and talk about George Floyd and all the other things that happened. Stop using the terror. You know, Anne Frank had her diary. Did anyone of y'all read it? You come up here talking Holocaust stuff. You've read it. I'm sure you did. You're well educated. Well, let's not come here and just defame America, defame ICE. Without law, there is no order. They're federal agents doing their job. When you have somebody crash your vehicle, break into your house, who you call? You don't call a crackhead. You call 911. So respect them. At least the ones that are doing their jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my left that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, City Council. Good evening. Everybody stay warm. The river's still running. We've got a lot going on. We've got a lot going. I'm gonna try to sum it up, but it starts at the top. It starts at the top, and the top is the Civil War Museum. Okay, it's about respect. It's about who died for us to be free. And if we don't teach our children through that curriculum, they won't understand. And we will repeat slavery all over again. We won the Civil War, and we still don't know how to treat our people. You want us all to be in chains again? Did you go by the Civil War? That curriculum. You want to teach the kids a curriculum? We don't even have that curriculum in our schools. Take the kids up to the top of the hill. That's where the knowledge is. And then it flows down. It's not trying to eliminate the Civil War Museum. That's what we need to learn. We need to readdress how we treat each other. Don't laugh when I'm talking. I know what the cost was for freedom, for me to be laughed at. It's crazy. It's crazy. In Gettysburg, 51,000 died. That's more than the population of Harrisburg. They wanted Harrisburg. And if they would have got Harrisburg, it would be different. You know what Harrisburg stands for. Get the pride that we deserve. Treat people. Don't laugh at me. I'm good. I'm a man of war. And I know what the cost was. It wasn't to laugh at me, Louis Butts. It wasn't about that. I would fight, and I fought. And I will fight again. But when the kids are the end result because they don't have programming, take them up there. They learn, and they learn what a gun will do and what chains are. But Harrisburg School District, we don't give them that curriculum. It's very important. It's very important. We got the farm show. It's the second largest fishing boat in the world. That's an economic engine. There's over 400 retail slots, and it's happening in our house, and nobody sells a fishing rod in the city. We need economic development. Let's use that as leverage to get dignity and pride. Let's get some people in that show that can make some money. The kids, entrepreneurism. We have the farm show, they don't even know how to ride a horse. I know how to ride a horse. I know how to ride a bull too. But so you're gonna be laughing anyway. Can you ride a bull? I don't think so. I don't think so. But that's not my point. My point is that we got the history right on top of our hill. The National Civil, that's Smithsonian. Get it in our curriculum. Get some pride about ourselves. Raise the flags of the Union. Get some visuals that everybody can, when ICE comes to town and they see how many flags we got flying that nobody else can fly in the country, in the world, maybe they get a little understanding that don't push us around. We got to do something else that nobody else does.
Thank you.
We are Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. We will move forward with our meeting agenda. Next, we have the approval of the minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed you. Okay.
First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Pete White. I've been in business in this town for 40 years. I had one of the largest construction companies here. We retrofitted schools, we built churches, yada, yada, yada. I had 40 employees, and we instituted a training program even then at Harris. However, my problem right now with city council is this. If you are supposed to be the vanguard for the city, you've been voted in, and what that means is that you're looking out for the home front, you're looking out for all the citizens here. Right now, I'm going to speak about the black and brown citizens, particularly, which have been underrepresented. The construction companies that I see, and I've gone around to every one of these jobs, from the Broad Street Market, 18th and Her, the park, ever. By the way, I have a degree in microbiology and an associate's degree in civil engineering. I used to be the civil engineering inspector for the pipes and so forth going through the city. See, Dairy Street from 13th to 18th, home and so forth. Now you're looking at some of the prospects that I was over to make sure they're right. The problem here is city council has neglected the one thing you need to be about, and that's leveling the economic playing field in this city. You have a number of contractors coming in here from all over, majority contractors. What protocol have you told them that they need to abide by for inclusion? I've been here through a couple meetings, sitting here and so forth. I've heard nothing. That word was never used. It should have been the first thing, because the first, when we started implementing business in this city in 1988, myself and 3 other individuals put together a protocol which city council at that time, which composed mostly lawyers, ratified, to the tune that wherever something is done on city land or the inclusion of city funds, that the contractors had to abide by an inclusion of 25%. I'm not talking about hours, I'm talking about literal dollars of that contract. It started with the Hilton. This is where we came in and had the meeting and agreement with that. And as such, we had an organization, and we had 29 black contractor companies over there. What you don't seem to recognize with this is this. This is another form of income. You have a lot of qualified contractors. We've had several meetings here. Dina has had these meetings, which I find very enlightening, and all the assistance I can give her to bring it up to speed. The fact of the matter is, if they're going to come to Harrisburg, if they're going to come to Harrisburg because they want to exploit the residuals here that we have and the assets in terms of what's going on for business here, then they have to know that there's a certain protocol to do business in Harrisburg. Just like it is if we go Camp Hill or somewhere else, which we are rarely invited by these contractors. And I'm speaking of gym construction. I'm speaking of the contractor down here at the Polyclinic. I'm speaking of Alexander. They are major minimalizing, non-inclusionary companies. I've had meetings with them. You might as well be an alien if you think you're going to work a contract with that. And I'm also a professional estimator, so don't blame me. If you know anybody, Fred Clark, anybody, you ask them who Pete White is. We made changes
Thank
in
you
the
for your
city.
comment, Mr. White.
Come up.
Thank you for your comment.
Mr. White, can you please share your address or the vicinity in which you live? It's strictly for the meeting record.
I'm on the south side of Harrisburg.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to offer public comment? I don't want to miss anyone else. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, we will move forward. Oh, I'm sorry. You can offer public comment. Okay.
And if you can give us a couple minutes.
No, we don't. Yes. There will be more public comment. We do have a work session after this meeting. The legislative session is where your comments will be added to the meeting record, just for everybody's reference. Next, we have the approval of minutes for the legislative session that occurred on January 13th, 2026. Council members, are there any revisions to those meeting minutes? Okay, seeing and hearing none, the minutes stand approved. We will now move forward with reports of committees. The first report will be delivered by our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, Vice President Jones, on the work session of January 20th, 2026.
Thank you. On January 20th, 2026, the Budget and Finance Committee held a work session where we discussed Resolution 3 of 2026, a resolution approving the first proposed 2026 budget reallocation in order to authorize the roll forward of certain 2025 budget year encumbered commitments and to reaffirm certain 2025 capital projects and program appropriation. Present to discuss Resolution 3 of 2026 was Brian McCutcheon and Robert Kinnick. We discussed Resolution 3, a budget reallocation to roll forward 2025's budget encumbered commitments, and how the general fund is and we also talked about how the general fund is the biggest piece of this action, and how most of it, if not all, of the budget units are affected by this action. $19.7 million is the roll forward amount from the general fund, and is an extremely high amount due to the Broad Street Market expenditure line under facilities. $16.5 million of the $19.7 is about 84% of the total request. So basically what is happening is the money that was budgeted in 2025, the remaining still needs to be utilized in 2026 for contracts and projects that still needs to be funded with these remaining dollars. Questions asked by council. Council pretty much thanks the finance department for a thorough presentation. Councilman Rodriguez asks about the remaining funds from the trash release program, asking if those funds, $1.4 million, were a part of the roll forward funds from Public Works. Mr. McCutcheon clarified that those funds were from the capital projects funds and that the roll forward request was a little over $500,000 from the neighborhood services funds for the new year. And that will conclude the report from the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Vice President Jones. The next report will be delivered by our Community and Economic Development Committee Chair, Councilman Lawson, on the work session of January 20th, 2026.
During the January 20th, 2026 Harrisburg City Council work session, the Community and Economic Development Committee reviewed Resolution 4 of 2026, which proposes the approval of the preliminary and final land development plan for 1332 North 2nd Street. The project, submitted by Adam Brenneman of Brenneman Properties LLC, focused on the adaptive reuse of a former funeral home in Midtown Harrisburg. The proposal seeks to convert the vacant portion of a commercial space previously occupied by a funeral home into 8 new residential units, expanding an existing 5-unit apartment building to a total of 13 multifamily units. The property includes a large off-street parking lot with approximately 35 spaces, ensuring adequate parking for residents and visitors. Hold on. The Harrisburg Planning Commission recommended the approval of the project and conditions, and these include review of any exterior alterations by the city's historic preservation specialist with additional approvals as required, coordination with the Department of Public Works regarding refuse container placement, screening and access, consideration of consolidating refuse storage within existing carport along the street frontage. The commission cited the project's responsible design and compatibility with surrounding neighborhood. Council and staff highlighted several municipal benefits of the project, including productive reuse of vacant and underutilized building space, increased housing supply in Midtown, which can help stabilize housing costs, activation of the street and support for nearby businesses through residential occupancy and adequate off-street parking that minimizes neighborhood impact. Michael White, Director of Acquisitions and Development for Brenneman Group, provided additional details on the project, noting that the 8,500 square foot building includes approximately 5,000 square feet of former commercial space. He confirmed that financing is in place with the project construction loan closing by the end of March and an estimated 8-month construction period and subsequent lease-up. Council members raised several key topics during the discussion about economic inclusion. Council emphasized the importance of engaging local minority and women-owned contractors. The developer expressed openness to referrals and a commitment to expanding local participation where possible. Environmental safety, the developer expressed concerns related to the former use and confirming that adequate environmental assessment has been completed and that the regulatory process are being followed to safe conversion. And the job creation, the property is expected to generate approximately 15 construction-related jobs, primarily through skilled subcontractors. In lighting and safety, council underscored the importance of effective lighting and overall site safety. The developer indicated that lighting and the facade improvements remain under review to ensure a safe and welcoming environment. On January 2026 work session, Harrisburg City Council and the Community and Economic Development has also reviewed Resolution 5 of 2026, which seeks the approval of the preliminary and final land development plan for 2601 North 3rd Street, Building 1, as part of Phase 2 of the Polyclinic Hospital campus redevelopment. The proposal involves the adaptive reuse of a long vacant hospital building into a mixed-use development that will bring new life for residents and services surrounding the neighborhood. The project includes approximately 130 new residential units ranging from studio to 2-bedroom apartments, street-level commercial and retail space with plans underway to attract a locally owned grocery store and other neighborhood-serving businesses. Use of an existing parking garage and surface lots provide ample off-street parking. Flexible space reserved for future phases of development. And the Harrisburg Planning Commission recommended approval of the project, citing its thoughtful reuse of a large vacant structure, minimal traffic impacts compared to the building's former use, and the potential to stimulate additional investment in the uptown area, excuse me. Condition of approval focus on pedestrian accessibility, refuse management, bicycle parking, and compliance with signage and accessibility standards. Council members expressed strong support for the project and highlighted several key priorities. Neighborhood engagement with multiple community meetings scheduled to gather resident input. Economic inclusion, including the use of local, minority, and women-owned contractors. Public safety and quality of life, noting that occupied, well-lit, mixed-use development helps reduce blight and improve neighborhood safety. Housing affordability, particularly for working and middle-income residents, and access to healthy food, emphasizing the importance of a grocery option for the surrounding community. The applicant also provided updates on phase 1 of the redevelopment, noting active construction, progress towards historic tax credits, and continued coordination with city departments. Following discussion, City Council advanced this resolution to our legislative session, and that concludes the business of the Community and Economic Development. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Lawson. The next report you will hear will be delivered by our Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment Committee Chair, Councilwoman Rawls, on the work session of January 20th, 2026.
Thank you, President Hill. Good evening, everyone. On January 20th, 2026, the Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment Committee met to discuss Resolution 2 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional service agreement with Flora Teeter Landscape Architects, Incorporated, to provide landscape architectural services for Vernon Street Park and Playground located at 15th and Vernon Streets. Deputy Director Ross and Mr. Saunders from the Parks and Recreation and Enrichment Department were present to provide council with additional information. They explained that the primary purpose of this agreement is to secure professional design services that will allow the department to pursue future grant funding. In order to apply for these grants, the city must first submit a formal architectural concept and design plan for the proposed playground improvements. Floral Teeter Landscape Architects was selected to prepare these designs. The department noted that the firm specializes in improving park functionality, enhancing recreational spaces, maximizing small urban areas, and ensuring inclusive and accessible design for all residents. Their proposal was also the lowest responsible bid, totaling $19,500 for the park concept plan. The anticipated project timeline runs from January through May and will include 2 community engagement meetings to gather resident input and ensure the final design reflects neighborhood needs. Questions my fellow council members raised were as follows. Were they chosen because they were the lowest bidder or because of experience? Mr. Saunders responded that cost was a primary factor in the selection. However, the firm's prior experience and history of submitting proposals on past city projects were also considered. He added that the department strives to distribute opportunities among qualified bidding firms, and this time Flora Teeter was selected. Can you expand and provide more information on the timelines for the 7th and Radnor Reservoir, Gorgas, and Wilson projects? Mr. Saunders responded that those projects have been extended with an anticipated completion date of March 3rd, 2026. Do you believe that is a responsible or reasonable time frame? Mr. Saunders stated that the department believes the proposed timeline is responsible. Is the Parks and Recreation Department working in collaboration with the Public Works Department to pave the alleyways across from the Vernon Street Playground due to safety concerns? Ms. Ross responded that they will coordinate with Director West and ensure the matter is addressed and placed on the radar. Are there any updates on the Hall Manor pool? Mr. Saunders responded that the department is waiting the completion and expansion of a scientific finding report to confirm that a pool can be safely constructed on the site. The report is expected to be returned in the first quarter. And lastly, if awarded, will the grant for the Vernon Street Playground also cover a new wall or fence? Mr. Saunders responded that the grant would support improvements to help revamp the entire park. He noted that multiple grants will likely be needed, but this would serve as an important first step. I respectfully ask for your support on this resolution as we continue working to upgrade and invest in parks across the city of Harrisburg. This concludes the report of the Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rawls. The final committee report this evening will be delivered by our Public Safety Committee Chair, Councilwoman Green, on the work session of January 20th, 2026.
Thank you, President Hill, During the work session of January 20th, 2026, the Public Safety Committee met to discuss Resolution 1 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional service agreement with WCA Public Safety Assessment for the purpose of providing psychological testing and assessment for the city's Bureau of Police. This would keep needed psychological testing and assessment in place for our police department, and the fees for the 2026 years are as follows. For the post-conditional offer psychological evaluation is $425. Promotional evaluation is $425. The fitness of duty evaluation is $300 per hour. The wellness visit is $250. The PTSD evaluation is $525. And the specialized service evaluation for SWAT, hostage negotiator, or K-9 unit is $425. I do ask my colleagues to support this resolution. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Green. We do not have any ordinances for first reading, ordinances for amendment, or ordinances for final passage. We will move forward with our resolutions. I'll begin with those that are being referred to committee and the tabled resolution. Resolution 3 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you just read it into the record? It will be tabled, but just for everybody's reference.
Resolution 3, 2026, a resolution approving the first proposed 2026 budget reallocation in order to authorize the roll forward of certain 2025 budget year encumbered commitments and to reaffirm certain 2025 capital project and program appropriations.
Thank you. As I mentioned during our legislative caucus, Resolution 3 of 2026 will be tabled this evening. I'm going to continue with the referrals since we're here. Resolution 6 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 6, 2026, a resolution ratifying a Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation Green Light Go grant application and authorizing the City of Harrisburg to execute any agreements, forms, and documents related to the award of $380 to update traffic signal equipment with the Allison Hill neighborhood.
Thank you. Resolution 6 of 2026 will move to the Public Works Committee. Next, we have Resolution 7 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 7, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Elizabeth Sherber to provide sign language interpretation services.
Thank you. Resolution 7 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Next, we have Resolution 8 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 8, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Joshua Barr to provide sign language interpretation services.
Thank you. Resolution 8 of 2026 will also move to the Administration Committee. Our final resolution this evening is Resolution 9 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 9, 2026, a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the United States Department of Transportation Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development Grant Program for up to $3 million to improve safety within 4 roadway corridors to include Division Street, North 6th Street, Market Street, and South 17th Street.
Thank you. Resolution 9 of 2026 will also move to the Public Works Committee. So we will go back to Resolution 1 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 1, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with WCA Public Safety Assessments for the purpose of providing psychological testing and assessment for the city's Bureau of Police.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 1 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yay.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Rolls?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Resolution 1, 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 2 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 2, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Flora Teeter Landscape Architects Incorporated to provide landscape architectural services for Vernon Street Park and Playground located at 15th Street and Vernon Street.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 2 of 2026? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yay.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Rolls?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Resolution 2, 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Resolution 4 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 4, 2026, a resolution approving the preliminary/final land development plan for 1332 North 2nd Street submitted by Adam Brenneman of Brenneman Properties, LLC, to expand the existing non-conforming multifamily dwelling use on-site by converting space occupied by the former funeral home and associated site and access improvements.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 4 of 2026? I have one comment. The applicant shared that of the 8 new units, approximately 2 would be deemed approved or affordable for our residents if the applicant was interested in the affordable housing program. They indicated that they are not for this particular project due to the financing. So as a result, I will be a no vote on this resolution. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yay.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Rolls?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
No.
Resolution 4, 2026 passes by a vote of 6-1.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 5 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 5, 2026, a resolution approving the preliminary/final land development plan for 2601 North 3rd Street, Building 1, submitted by Gregory Hallequist of Penmark Harrisburg Holdings, LLC, to convert the vacant hospital building into a mixed-use building and associated site and access improvements.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 5 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yay.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Rolls?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Resolution 5, 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Council members, is there any old business for discussion? I have one note. I just wanted to note the receipt of the fourth quarter quarterly reports. Please note for everyone's reference that they have been posted to the city's website under E-codes, of course, under miscellaneous documents. So I just wanted to note that. Is there any other old business? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Any new business? Okay, seeing and hearing none. The time is 7:15 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn our legislative session.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We stand adjourned. The time is 7:16 p.m. I would like to call our work session to order. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Davis,
Present.
Ms. Green,
Present.
Mr. Jones,
Here.
Mr. Lawson,
Here.
Ms. Rolls,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Hill.
Present. Thank you. I'd like to begin with the two resolutions that are before the Administration Committee, Resolution 7 of 2026 and Resolution 8 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read both resolutions into the record?
Resolution 7, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Elizabeth Schieber to provide sign language interpretation services. Resolution 8, 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Joshua Balker to provide sign language interpretation services.
Thank you. If you guys wouldn't mind joining us, I know this is a different side of the table that you're normally on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience this evening. I just wanted to remind everybody that we are no longer contracting with Halcyon Communication Services, and so you may have seen these familiar faces through their work. So as a result, we are individually contracting with the interpreters so that we can maintain the inclusive service that we are providing for our residents. So if you both wouldn't mind just taking a few minutes to introduce yourselves, maybe tell us a little bit about how you became interested in sign language interpretation.
Hi, I'm Josh Balker, a certified sign language interpreter. I've been working since 2000.
I'm sorry, can you move the microphone closer to you? Thank you.
Do I need to start again? Could you hear me?
You can start again, yes.
Okay. Hi, Josh Balker. I'm a certified sign language interpreter. Been working since 2010. I started in my church when I was young. I really enjoyed it. Went to Bloomsburg University, got my degree there. And then from there, I got my certification for the state and then my national certification.
That's awesome.
I'm Elizabeth Schieber. I've been signing since 2016, and I'm also a certified sign language interpreter. I discovered signing in college, really, and it just stuck, and it took off from there. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I'm familiar with your work, so I really don't have a lot of questions. These are just the formalities that we have to go through. So I will open the floor to my colleagues who may have some additional questions for you. I will begin with Councilman Lawson. Any questions?
Thank you, President Hill. No questions. Just want to thank you for your service. It's very important to make these meetings as accessible as possible. And as someone who goes to the gym and watches closed caption, I know you cannot always rely on that being accurate or correct when looking at the meeting. So your service is something that is desperately needed for a lot of our residents. So we thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions?
Good evening to you both. I don't have any questions. I've seen your work. I just really want to thank you all for coming in and allowing us to give this type of inclusivity to our residents who this really services. So just thank you for being professional in the way that you do give your services, and just thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez, any questions?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you both for joining us this evening, as always, and giving us your few words on why you do what you do and your passion. I've been at home on many meetings and witnessed you doing what you do, and it looks magnificent. So I'd be lying if I said I didn't try to keep up with it from time to time, but I guess my question may be to either Madam President or legal. What was the main reason we won't be going through, was it Halcyon and going more direct?
They decided they weren't interested in contracting. There's no bad blood, nothing. They
Awesome.
just chose not to anymore.
Just curious, but thank
Yeah.
you both for all you do, and I look forward to many more sessions with you guys in front of the camera. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, any questions?
Thank you, President Hill. No questions. Mr. Balger and Ms. Schieber, thank you for being here this evening. I think it takes a special person with a special heart to want to offer this service. And thank you for reaching our residents, our visually and hearing impaired residents with your services. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, did you have any questions for our interpreters?
Thank you, President Hill. Thank you both for being here tonight, and thank you for your service. I apologize that I had to step out for a moment and missed the conversation. I don't have any questions reading over the resolutions, though, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you. If there are no further questions.
Oh, excuse me, President Hill. Yes,
Yes.
I meant to just mention hearing impaired, not visually impaired. Thank you.
You're welcome. If there are no further questions, I move to add Resolution 7 of 2026 and Resolution 8 of 2026 to our next legislative session agenda for a formal vote. Thank you. This concludes the business of the Administration Committee. Next, we have business with the Public Works Committee. I will defer to our Public Works Committee Chair, Councilman Rodriguez, to lead discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. And tonight for the Public Works Committee, we're discussing Resolution 6 of 2026 and Resolution 9 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, can you read both Resolution 6 of 26 and Resolution 9 of 26 into the record, please?
Resolution 6, 2026, a resolution ratifying a Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation Green Light Go grant application and authorizing the City of Harrisburg to execute any agreements, forms, and documents related to the award of $387,380 to update traffic signal equipment within the Allison Hill neighborhood. Resolution 9, 2026, a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the United States Department of Transportation, better utilizing investments to leverage development grant program for up to $3 million to improve safety within 4 roadway corridors to include Division Street, North 6th Street, Market Street, and South 17th Street.
Thank you for that, Mr. Truesdale. And I see our city engineer, Mr. Joel Siders, with us. Good to see you. Good evening.
Good evening.
If you'd like to give a overhaul of Resolution 6 of 2026 first for council, please.
So the Green Light Go grant that we submitted for and then were subsequently awarded is for 13 signal intersections in the Allison Hill area, mostly along the Market Street corridor and the 17th Street corridor. These upgrades are really safety upgrades, some retiming to alleviate congestion, increased pedestrian intervals to allow safer passage across the streets, and just more high visible crosswalks. Some locations will receive ADA ramp upgrades, but that is an as needed basis. But that's pretty much the overall of that project.
Have you identified any areas that need the ADA compliance upgrades as of now?
As of now, no.
Okay. All right. I'll open it up to my colleagues on council, starting with my far right, Councilman Lawson.
Thank you, Chair Rodriguez. I don't have any, well, actually, yeah, just bringing up the ADA access, just because I didn't think of that there. Were there certain areas that were?
So we wrote that into the scope in the case that we identify those during the design.
Okay, so they haven't been quite identified yet. It was just curiosity and nothing more than that behind that. That's all that I have. Thank you.
Absolutely. Councilwoman Green?
Thank you very much, Councilman Rodriguez. I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for being here tonight.
All right. President Hill?
Good evening. Thank you. I don't have any questions.
All right. Councilwoman Rawls?
I'm sorry. Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. I don't have any questions. I think I'm just excited to see another project, especially in the Allison Hill Center. I know residents have been very concerned with, they love that we've had so many projects going on, but they feel like it's been concentrated in one area. So I think we just had members from Powder Hill come and speak about Allison Hill and the parks, but I'm sure there's also some other issues. So I think this brings some light to saying, you know, we are doing some things and projects in that area. So thank you for keeping them on the radar. We look forward to future ones.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. It's refreshing, as we stated before, to see concentration more on Allison Hill, South Allison Hill. For many times, these are just areas that are overlooked, so, you know, we really appreciate it. Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez, and thank you for being here this evening. Yes, as my colleagues mentioned, my sentiments go out towards these areas, and it's in particularly 17th and Market. That area is just congested at any given time, on any given day. It's not just after work hours or in the morning. So I look forward to this project and for some relief for the residents. And hopefully, as the lights get upgraded, then the congestion will disperse and it will help other areas surrounding Market Street, 17th and Market. So thank you
That's
for
our
your
plan,
work.
yes.
Excuse me?
That's our plan.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else on council has anything else to add regarding Resolution 6 of 2026? All right, and going right into Resolution 9 of 26, which I'm also excited about. We've seen a lot of development on Division and, of course, Uptown, but to see, you know, Market Street and South 17th on this roster, it's once again refreshing. So, Mr. Siders, if you would like to give an overhaul of Resolution 9 of 2026 for council, please.
Yes, so the build grant is a federal grant, and we are applying for a planning/design grant. So this, construction's still many years off, but this is more to get us to the design phase, and then once we have a final design, we can then bid it out for construction. But the limits for this include Division Street from 2nd to 7th, 6th Street from Division to probably Forster, Market Street from Cameron to 25th, and 17th Street from Market to probably Paxton Street.
Say Cameron to 25th?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's why the ask for this is $3 million, because
Yep.
that is a massive area. And our plans are to do extensive safety improvements. Just think of 2nd Street, but applied throughout the whole city. So that's
And just for the residents watching that may not be cognizant of, you know, the projects you're referring to, can you speak to some of those improvements that may entail with this project?
Sure. So it'd be traffic and calming elements such as raised crosswalks, roundabouts. I know not everyone's a fan, but they do slow people down. Like curb bump outs that help people cross the road safer. We could do some sort of road diet, and then I would also mention that multimodal will be a big part of this design as well. So we'll add bike and bus amenities along all those corridors as well.
Now, Cameron to 25th, how wide from what to what? Like State to?
It would be up Market Street from Cameron to 25th along Market.
Just
Street.
Market straight up?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Will that include curbs, different things like that? Also ADA improvements?
It will include all the safety upgrades as well as accessibility.
That'd be great, because there still are a lot of communities that still don't even have curbs that are highly unsafe for the seniors, not to mention the children that walk to and from school every day. So that's amazing. All right, I'll open it up to council, this time starting with my immediate left, Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Can you speak to the current situation on Market Street and the construction that's going on, and give us an update of where we're at with the equipment that's there, 13th and Market, 14th and Regina?
So that is a Capital Region water project. They're replacing a sewer main. As far as I am aware, they are nearing completion of the really big replacement of the main line, and then they'll go to the smaller lines, and that's just less intensive. Unfortunately, these pipes are buried probably like 15 feet deep, so the hole's pretty big, and it requires unfortunately, the whole intersection to be closed while they're doing their construction activities.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
I mean, that gives some insight to our residents as well.
So that is nothing the city is doing. We're just working in conjunction with CRW to kind of not oversee, but to work with them for the closures and make sure they restore the road then to a proper specifications.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for that too, Councilwoman Davis. There's a lot of residents that stay right there in that concentrated area that don't have a clue what's going on. And I know I couldn't pose the questions to you as far as the outreach and, you know, how many residents have been reached out to. But is there any way that we can sustain communication until that project's over with the residents in that area? I just haven't seen it done, and you know, I myself sometimes forget about it. Take the kids to New York Friday after school, get them something to eat, and I completely forget I can't even park. So, is there any way we can like up the communication on immediate residents in that area? I'm not sure if that would be through trash bills or just our communication via communications on the website, what that looks like. But any way we can partner and do
I'll
that,
certainly reach out to communications and see what we can work out.
that would be amazing. Councilwoman Ross.
Thank you. I don't really have any questions. I think we all know that these projects are a necessity. I'm just going to say something in a proactive way. I think that some concerns that even residents spoke with today and that we've had in the past is looking at the companies we hire and making sure they are local Harrisburg companies. And I know that when you go through the process after getting the grant and you go through the process of picking a project manager, which I would assume you would be in charge of doing, or at least having a voting board that would help you do that. I would just ask, looking at ones that work in our city, that work with our city, that will think about our disadvantaged businesses that don't always get picked or looked at. I think when we know better, we do better, and I think we can also do our processes differently. And I would love to see you working with equity and compliance to see what businesses are working with our city. You know, we have Dina there, I believe her name is. So I think that let's take charge and see how we work together as a city to promote these businesses and let residents know we do hear them. So I'm charging you with this. Sure. It's just a nice ask, and I think anybody up here on council is here to help, because we want whoever comes in front of us. For us, we know that it was a work in together project. Also, just proactive too. I know with State Street, it didn't get the completion that it needed, and we know it is a street that is in need of help, but some things weren't done the way the residents needed it to, and communication fell. So I think with these projects, just making sure we're communicating with residents. It's not they don't want it, they just want to be included. So I think just being proactive in that way and making sure their voices are heard, I think we're going to get a lot done. So I'm just charging you with that, and I'm here to help.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. President Hill.
Thank you. I don't have any questions related to Resolution 9 of 2026.
Thank you. Vice President Jones.
How you doing this evening? No questions.
All right, Councilwoman Green.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions for you regarding this. Thank you.
All right, and Councilman Lawson.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to be an echo of Councilwoman Ross. Definitely making sure that we first engage with our local businesses and look to make sure that we are hiring, as the city, being the lead in hiring a diverse business to help, work with everything that we can. And we have the resources to find them and make that happen. So I think that's very important, and I'm glad she brought it up, and I'm glad I get to echo her. And then the second part I want to echo, just so it doesn't fall apart as State Street did, is that we do reach out to our residents as we make any changes, that we get out there in front of them and have some public comment meetings, just so that we can let people know what we're doing and how we're doing it. And then the last selfish request is, can we take Division Street one more street down the front? Just because it's very difficult getting off Division onto Front Street, especially at night or early morning when the lights are down.
Yeah, I can certainly make that ask.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Are there any more comments, sentiments regarding either of these resolutions we discussed tonight in the Public Works Committee? All right, thank you. City Engineer, Mr. Siders, thank you for joining us as always. It's a pleasure. And I'd like to add Resolution 6 of 26 and Resolution 9 of 2026 to our next legislative session. And that concludes the work of the Public Works Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. This is our second opportunity, as we mentioned, for public comment. So just a few housekeeping notes. If you are interested in offering public comment, please state your name and your address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Truesdale will serve as our timekeeper. He has added a timer to the screen for your reference. I will begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment? Okay, seeing and hearing no one. Anyone in the middle section?
Kia Fowler, North 5th Street. I want to apologize to council for my inappropriate outburst earlier. I had a moment, but I do recognize that it was inappropriate. Second, I wanted to acknowledge and appreciate the council's work to try and serve underserved populations in the community. I think it's so important to have diversity in the community and to focus on a rejuvenation and assistance of underserved communities, especially like the Allison Hill neighborhood. A lot of people could use a lot of assistance, so it's really good to see that the council really appreciates that need. Third, I know last time I went overtime, so this is going to be a little repetitive, but I wanted to read out my list of 12 requests to the council in full. Our first was passing non-cooperation agreement. Second was applying pressure for 287G agreements. Third was follow in the footsteps of LA County and ban use of facial coverings by local, state, and federal law enforcement during regular duty operations. Require that all local, state, and federal law enforcement display visible personal identification and agency affiliation during regular duty operations. 4, prohibit use of city resources. City buildings, equipment, staff, time, and funding should not be used to support ICE operations. Local tax dollars should serve Harrisburg residents. 5, prohibit DHS from using administrative warrants, either by banning or refusing to accept them. 6, prohibit DHS from operating within the city without a signed judicial warrant. 7, prohibit DHS from entering any location, whether private, public, or government-owned, without a signed judicial warrant. 8, adopt strong data privacy policies. Limit what personal data the city collects, how long it keeps it, and when it can be shared. 9, require transparency and notice. Publicly disclose any request from ICE for city assistance whenever legally permitted. We want a transparent local government. And I know this government does try quite hard for transparency. This is just kind of part of a general list of asks I've compiled. 10, fund or support Know Your Rights education. Provide information sessions, multilingual materials, and partnerships with trusted organizations. 11, protect city services from being used as traps. Ensure residents can access libraries, utilities, permits, and borough services without fear of immigration enforcement. 12 was my final statement about communication. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone to my left that would like to offer public comment? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had additional comments.
I also would like to apologize for my emotional sabotage that what I wanted to express to you guys is that people often come and use the black card to grab you and make you jump on a ship that's sinking. Because you're melanated, they will come and they will use emotional connection. They don't use the N-word, but they might as well have, with all the Mandelas and all the George Floyds and all the other things that they say to you, to emotionally sabotage you from making decisions that are sound. And that is what I intended on saying to you before I got into the whole veterans thing. You guys are a bunch of smart group, for sure, well-educated. And, you know, the Black Panthers, they have said, this is not your fight. This is not your fight. And every time they need numbers, it's all about numbers. They come to you. They come to the minority community, rehabs, they come to you. But yet the minority community don't have no real rehab. The rehabs that the minority community would need is more like for for marijuana, to keep people from that addiction, and not the other substance that's not necessarily affecting the Black community. But when they need that rehab money, they come to you. That's just one example of how every time they need something, they come to you. And they use the numbers because you know, there's strength in numbers. And they want you to jump on their bandwagon when it's not even your fight. It has nothing to do with Black Americans. And we're tired of people always using the melanated part of us to grab us into some emotional turmoil to make decisions based on slavery and things that we have come far, far from. I am not a descendant of a slave person. If you want to talk about melanated people, we can talk about Kemet, modern day Egypt, where we were royals and recognized as such. We can also talk about, when we're talking about slavery, we can talk about how the Arabs contributed up to today. You can't go into the EU without handing over your passport and being subjected to certain things. There's a lot of things, if we're going to talk about melanated in a global perspective, it's not always the white man. A lot of Black people were sold by their own. It didn't, 40 people did not get on a boat and load it with millions. They had people selling their own. So stop letting people come in here and grabbing your emotions to make decisions that doesn't benefit you. And that is what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to my left that would like to offer public comment?
Louis Butts on Midtown. It seems like there's a big lack in communication. We don't have a paper, we don't have a radio station, but we do have Channel 20. We have reporters. Let's use it. If we need to go on that site, regards to Market Street or any place else, we can do an episode for that and put it on Channel 20. If we want to talk about what they're doing, we can put it on Channel 20. Let's use it. Let's spin it. Let's do something and keep rotating it. Let's have a news reporter from the city, and if we have questions and issues, we have that reporter go and do it and put it on Channel 20 and spin it. Whatever we want, we do have Channel 20. If we need to move the cars for towing or plowing or whatever, we have a reporter and we go out there and it's like a news 8 o'clock in the morning. Go live and for an hour, then you spin it. You spin it all day or 12 o'clock. Then you have another episode at 12 o'clock to report what needs to be reported, and then you spin it. At least we have Channel 20. Let's use it to its fullest benefit. Don't just sit on it. I went over there, it's dead. Let's get some life back. If we need the communication, let's use it. That's half the problem. Not using Facebook, and I don't even get, because I'm on a whole different algorithm than anybody else's, and we don't get the same thing at the same daggone time. Let's get on some kind of schedule that we can inform our people and they can count on it before school or whatever, so the kids know what's going on. I know it sounds stupid, but it's not. Do it. Just do it, because we have it. If we don't use what we have, we'll lose what we've got. Okay, let's just get on. There's reporters. There's young reporters. You can get some young reporters to do the job. Let's get that curriculum. Let's learn from what we have. And let's use it. Just use it until we can't use it anymore. What else do we want to teach our kids? We can use Channel 20. It should be scheduled. 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. Whatever. Just get some motion on the communication part of it. It's not me. It's not me, it's you. Because you have it, and you just don't do it. Okay? Get smart. Love yous, guys.
Thank you. Okay, the time is 7:46 p.m. Oh, Councilwoman Rawls has something to say. Hold on.
I will not hold anybody up long. I know that we've been here for a while, and it's 7:50, and it's shorter than we thought it was with 2 agendas. But I just wanted to say something really quickly, only because there's been a lot in our country, but even in our community, on how we may speak to each other. And I remember when I first got elected to this position, it was actually Councilman Rodriguez who said, you have to change the way you speak to people. You have to change the way people view you in the community because you're a leader now. You hold a certain position. And we said, I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Well, okay, whatever. But I realized it when the things were going on with the market. There were a lot of false narratives about city council, even about myself. I was called racist on a platform that I didn't even know about until somebody showed it to me. There was incorrect information put out about anybody and anything that dealt with the market. And I wanted to give everyone a good tongue lashing. I wanted to tell them and give them a piece of my mind. But I realized that leadership reflects attitude, and I couldn't take that road. I remember when a young lady came up here and spoke about my children, said where they went to school. It said all things that were no one's business, that she should have came to me. Once again, I wanted to give her a good tongue lashing. But instead, I remembered that leadership reflects attitude, so I spoke to her respectfully in the hallway. And she apologized. I spoke respectfully again in our meeting just to say where my boundaries were. When we wear a certain uniform, when we're elected to a certain position, when we hold a certain title, I feel that it comes with great responsibility. And if we took those roles and we knew that, then we have to hold our part up to that. And I feel that we must communicate as leaders, professional communicators, even in our most private moments, because leadership reflects attitude. We control how we respond to people, even when they say things that aren't true. Even when they hurt us to our core, it's how we respond. Men in the kitchen, someone said something so rude about their food and said it all on Facebook. But they responded with such a respectful reply and promoted their business at the same time. Because leadership reflects attitude. I don't just say this for myself, I say it for everyone. People are going to say things, residents are going to complain. Unpopular comments are going to be said, spoken, written. But it's up to us in leadership roles to respond in a leadership way. Because leadership reflects attitude. And I just feel like it needs to be said because I don't like the way people are being spoken to. I don't like the comments that I'm seeing. And I want anybody to know where I am a leader within this community. And I'm sure I can speak all of council. We are here to help in the mayor administration. And we have to make sure we understand that we took these roles to help. And it's not always a glorious job, but it's what do we do to show you all that we're here But the one thing I know we can do, and remember, and I want everybody to remember, and I'm going to say it again, leadership reflects attitude. So if we want a better Harrisburg, if we want to work better together, we have to have better attitudes and lead Harrisburg in the correct direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. And what do? We continue to show up every week. We stand in our decisions and we lead from where we are. The time is 7:51 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
It's a race.
Go Cougars.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second? Thank you. We stand adjourned.